Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Friday, December 23rd. Your government taco forecast in Baton Rouge. Expect cloudy skies with a high of 35. Coming up on OTB, Troy LaBeouf and Eric Held are here to host. We talk recruiting with Billy Embody of On3 Sports at 7:15. Tom Diehart, also of On3, joins the show at 7:30. And John Brady calls in at 8:30 to talk LSU basketball. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Good morning, and welcome into Off the Bench. The JV team is in here again, filling in for Olaf and Hester. Those guys are getting themselves prepared for the stretch run of the college football season. I'm Troy LaBeouf, along with the coach, Eric Hill, and the guys that will be basically doing everything for us today, Mario and Danny. Guys, good morning, everybody. Coach, good morning.
Great to be here. Great to pinch hit for the guys. You mentioned great team and Mario and Danny. Merry Christmas to you guys and everyone out there. Great to be here.
3 Crusaders in the house.
How about that?
Brother Martin, 3 graduates of one a little bit older than the other two, but
slightly.
So you take a look at the screen and you tell me which one is which. So happy to have everybody here today. Mario, Pels last night, how was it?
It was a good time. Pretty much blew out the Spurs. Needed it, getting off the losing streak. So it was fun. I'm sure we'll discuss it today.
We will talk some Pels talk. Got a great show planned for you. Danny, how about you?
Doing good. Looking forward to Christmas. My birthday's actually tomorrow.
That's nice.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
How old, buddy?
I turned 26 tomorrow.
Coach, we remember we were 26.
Right.
We were recent graduates of Nicholls State at that time, right?
Hardly.
Yeah. We were both working.
Yeah,
we were both working at that time.
Yep.
Good morning, everybody in the Bayou 4 chat. We'll try to Coach does a good job of staying involved with you guys. I'll try to do that as well. Everybody, the normal people in the world, I guess, are off today, somewhat. But you got a lot of folks still working out there. If you are listening or watching us on the 1045 ESPN YouTube page or on 1045ESPN.com or just listening to us the old regular way on 1045 and 1049 ESPN Baton Rouge, we certainly appreciate it. We will try to entertain you for the next 3 hours. Got a good show planned for you. Not going to bury the lead. We're going to come to it in a second, but as Mario mentioned, we're going to have Billy Embody. You got to talk recruiting. We'll have that at 7:15. So locking in for that. Obviously got some things that happened yesterday with Desmond Ricks, Denver Harris. We'll talk about all that stuff. Tom Dienhart of On3 covers Purdue football. We'll get him at 7:30. We'll have the coach, John Brady, at 8:30. He's going to break down some LSU basketball. I got a chance to take my son and a couple of friends to the basketball game the other night, and we had a really good time. It was East Tennessee State, obviously not an SEC game, but it was fun to watch. So we'll also have your guy, Aaron Schatz of Football Outsiders. He's at 9:15. Describe him. What is he?
Yeah, he's an Ivy League guy, a Brown graduate, and just a numbers guy.
He's a Moneyball guy.
Moneyball guy, and dove into that and has made a career out of it, working with Football Outsiders and getting into the analytics, and does a tremendous job. And if you remember, when we were on back in June, he said the Eagles.
He did call the Eagles.
And then in July, we gave him a chance to recant, and he said Eagles again, and everybody in the chat blew up and made fun and, ridiculed the pick, which we did a little bit, but I got on board and made a small wager on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. And
just a tiny
small wager, and here they are. They're the best team in the league.
Good morning, everybody in the chat. Loris Corville, Brian Burgess, Edward O'Nussbus. What's up? Morning. Cody Chauvin. Try to give you some shout-outs. Coach would watch that as well.
Some of the regulars.
Yeah, man, these guys are up and at 'em. They're going to talk some sports, and let's get right to it. Obviously, the news dropped yesterday with LSU football. Quarterback Jaden Daniels. Everybody been kind of watching his health for the upcoming Citrus Bowl. You see a great picture of him right there, right on cue by the guys. And looks like he's good to go to play against Purdue on January the 2nd. But he made the call yesterday. It's kind of interesting how people put it on Twitter. He was going to forego the draft to come back. I don't know if that's the right wording for that, but Jaden Daniels is returning. So our poll question today, we'll get that out in a bit, brought to you by Citizens Bank. Are you happy that Jaden Daniels is coming back? So, Coach, I'll pass along to you. I have my thoughts, but I want to talk to you first about it.
Yeah, it was a little confusing. Had to read it a few times to make sure that got it right, that he was returning. The wording of it was kind of peculiar, but he is returning 9-3, led the team to that record, SEC West champs. Definitely the playmaker on offense, the guy that made it go early on. The offense was kind of lethargic, and then he kind of found his comfort zone. I think the coaching staff and figured out a way to help him move the football and get things going, get running game going, get the ball to the receivers, who could make plays, what pass concepts worked well, and credit to Joe Sloan, the quarterback's coach, with Jaden Daniels, and then, of course, Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator. But rushed for 818 yards, 11 touchdowns, and was 254 for 371, 16 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. And a lot of people will say, well, those 3 interceptions was because he only threw short, intermediate routes, didn't take chances, would tuck the ball and go. And I think as we went along during the course of the season, you saw him begin to make those tougher throws, if you will.
How about the matchup to start the 2023 season? Jaden Daniels at quarterback for the Tigers, Jordan Travis at quarterback for Florida State in the same facility, building that LSU will be playing Purdue in, Camping World, whatever they called it, in Orlando. That's going to be I think it's going to be a top 10 matchup, and I'm not trying to preview that game right now, but I was thinking about that yesterday, and I was 50-50 on whether I thought he was coming back or not. If you look at some of the mock drafts out there, they had him as the fifth best quarterback with the guys coming out. But that's going to be a unbelievable matchup between those two quarterbacks, Florida State versus LSU. But I'm happy he's coming back. And does it, like you said, does it affect the quarterback room? It probably will. It doesn't matter what football program. You better have 3 guys, at least. If you could have 4, I think you're doing great. But if you got to have at least 3, because you're not sure what Nuss is going to do. I would assume Howard is sticking around. He's coming off his redshirt season. He'll be a redshirt freshman. I guess you want to have your program set where you can start guys that are 2 years into the program or 3 years into the program, albeit you got a lot of really good freshmen that play college football out there.
Yeah, the way you do it now, I think, with quarterbacks is you alternate when you bring your guys in. You have to get 2 guys in 1 year, 1 guy in the next 2 years. If you go 2-1, 2-1, 2, and you set yourself up the way the transfer portal works now, a guy doesn't play a quarterback, he's looking to go somewhere to play. You see a lot of group of 5 guys these days putting up great numbers, having a lot of success, and they go right into the portal and they move up to a Power 5 program. So, like you said, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Daniels. And you have Nussmeier and you have Howard. Wouldn't think that Howard would enter the portal. Nussmeier maybe so, but this makes for great competition. 3 guys with
Ricky Collins
coming in from Woodlawn. So you have some great competition there, and it's only going to make you better, and it's going to make that room better, and it's going to help Daniels get better. We'll see what Nussmeier does. That's kind of the wild card. What does he do? Does he enter the transfer portal to go start for somewhere else? Because obviously he is a Power 5 starting quarterback. We've seen that in his ability and his time where he's been able to play snaps this year. he has that ability. We'll see if he goes somewhere else.
Because everybody's looking for quarterbacks. Kentucky just picked up Devin Leary from NC State, who was considered the top quarterback in the portal. So everybody needs a quarterback. Somebody in the Power 5, Group of 5. I would think he wouldn't go down to a Group of 5. I'm talking about Nuss, but and we may be talking frivolous. He may not be going anywhere. And I know some people, I'm looking at the chat, some people think he's going for sure. I don't know about that. The guy seems like, and I don't know him personally, he just looks like somebody that wants to compete. He's got a lot of talent. And you mentioned Coach Sloan, who's done a fantastic job with the quarterbacks. I think kids want to come play for him. They picked up the Hurley kid who was supposed to be a 2025 guy. I think he may have moved to 2024. So super talented. This is going to be fun to see. A lot of quarterbacks maybe stay around through spring practice to see. I don't think that's the situation because in his mind, he's got to be feeling like Jaden's going to be the guy. He's going to be the quarterback. There you see a great picture of Nuss right there. He's going to be the quarterback. Do I want to wait another year and compete with Howard and Collins, or I don't know, so.
Nuss, you just see it in him, competitor, and I think that he stays at least through spring because he can come in spring and compete for the job, and then you come out of that and you name Daniels the starter, and Nussmeier's dad, Doug, who's with the Cowboys, definitely has connections in college football, and they're able to assess, hey, where can I go be a starter? So that's always an option. And just like you mentioned, Leary going from NC State to Kentucky, you've got a guy who's going to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft in April that he comes in to replace. So what better place to go than Kentucky and be developed there, play in the SEC and play in prime time against some great programs, Tennessee, Florida. You have an opportunity to shine on a national scale.
No doubt about it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about recruiting. We'll let Billy Embody talk about Jaden Daniels and Nuss, but he'll also talk about what LSU got the haul. They got a nice haul. We will comment on that. And they picked up a somewhat controversial player in Denver Harris. We'll talk about that next. Don't go anywhere. This is OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Mario, I just looked at hit the record button.
You're a good 5 seconds too early, but you know what? Olaf, you're ready.
Go to Riverlands Insurance today and Merry Christmas from your friends at Riverlands Insurance. Hit up our guy, Thomas. Email. Jake's going to give you the cell phone number. Thomas, make an email. They're going to get your insurance situation right. They're going to save you money. And the best part is, Jake, you don't lift a finger. And I don't care if it's home insurance, auto insurance, whatever the case may be, they find savings everywhere. You call up Thomas' cell phone number. You give him a few pieces of information. He shops at all the major companies. And remember, Riverlands, Louisiana, from the ground up, one of the fastest growing insurance companies in the South. Trust me, you will save money. You will be happy. Merry Christmas from Thomas and Megan email.
Give Thomas a call today, 225-206-1517. And like we tell you every day, don't allow the 225 area code to fool you. Certainly they can service Baton Rouge. We're talking to the entire state, though. North Louisiana to South Louisiana, 225-206-1517.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Black Widow Jeep Gladiators in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
3 people walk into a bar. The first 2 order the same old margs. The third, Nuevo Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer. Crafted with real lime juice and the crisp tequila flavor. Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar.
16 in the NFL continues Saturday when the Patriots host Joe Burrow and the Bengals at noon, and the Steelers host the Raiders at 7:15 p.m. Then it's a Christmas Day triple header on Sunday with the Dolphins and the Packers at noon, the Rams and the Broncos at 3:30 p.m., and the Cardinals and the Buccaneers at 7:20 p.m. All here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle
All-Star
bell,
Toyota
jingle
presents
bell,
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back into Off the Bench. Troy LaBeouf and Coach Eric Hale sitting in for Olaf and Hester today. They're taking a day off. They're preparing for the final stretch of the college football season. Both of those guys will be doing some traveling, spending some time with family today as they prepare what it will be a grind coming up for T-Bob and Jake, just like everybody else. Everybody's grinding these days. Speaking of grinding, our man right here on the phone, Billy Embody of On 3, Bengal Tiger On 3, has been grinding. Billy, good morning. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic, man. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Get that out of the way.
Merry Christmas to you guys as well.
LSU had a pretty much Merry Christmas, I feel like, who they picked up as far as their high school signees, the transfer portal. It was a whirlwind. You and I were texting a little bit yesterday with Desmond Rick. So let's pull it all together and give your overall take. And obviously, with you had a guy like Denver Harris, so give your overall take on how you think Coach Kelly and the staff did with this recruiting class.
Yeah, I think this is a class that you look at as a program changer. Quite honestly, I mean, they address so many needs outside of defensive tackle. I would say out of the high school ranks, they addressed everything they needed at a very high level. You look at the cornerback position, you look at the safety position. Those two groups, to me, stand out. Wide receiver, tight end, the way they closed was really, really impressive. I mean, to flip Kamarian Pimpton yesterday was huge. That was a lot harder of a flip than people realize. taking him from Vanderbilt, which had done a really good job evaluating him early on. He was really struggling with the decision from what I had heard. And now that tight end room has, somebody like Mac Markway, kind of somebody who can, play all three downs when healthy. Jackson McGohan's a playmaker. When he adds weight, he'll be able to stay on the field all three downs. And then Kamorian Pimpton is probably one of the biggest playmakers in the country in terms of the tight end position. So they remade that room. And then Brad Davis has done a terrific job just continuing to rebuild and retool that offensive line room. You add Zalance Hurd, Tyree Adams, DJ Chester, and Paul Mabenga. That is a group that now can step into the two deep pretty much across the board. Paul Mabenga is going to take a minute. Tyree Adams is going to take a minute to redshirt, I think. But Lance Hurd and DJ Chester, those are guys I expect to be, in the two deep right away. So this is a class that is honestly, I really feel this way, has set LSU up to, get back to Atlanta.
Billy, the term roster management has come into play with the transfer portal over the last few years. I really believe it's roster reconstruction, especially when you look at LSU in the last 13 months since Brian Kelly has come in. Give us your insight on where this roster is moving forward, comparing it to the Georgias and the Alabamas of the world, and how soon we can look forward to these guys competing year in and year out, considering, hey, maybe this wasn't an anomaly playing for the SEC championship.
Yeah, I feel like with Denver Harris, completing that corner room, and I don't think they're done on that front. I do feel like they'll add another corner out of the transfer portal at some point. That's kind of the position where, LSU held it together with Band-Aids this season. And to an extent, they'll have to do it again next year. But that's why you added Denver Harris. That's why they'll continue to add another transfer corner as well. But Javian Toviano is going to be somebody that starts a ton of football games for LSU. Same with Jeremiah Hughes if he's healthy and he's ready to go. Ashton Stamps is somebody from Rummel that really stands out to me. And LSU's pretty much had a really good run of Rummel players panning out. That was a big reason why they even offered Ashton Stamps. They've done a big study on how well those players have panned out for them. So I think the corner room has really, been remade again. And when you look at how, impressive the wide receiver talent is in the SEC, even Alabama with a down year, Georgia has explosive playmakers now. This is a room that has to be good and has to be good year in, year out. And that's what LSU has done. They've remade it into a high level room, whereas this year it was kind of, held together with Band-Aids, but these Band-Aids that they've picked up in the transfer portal with Denver Harris and in the high school ranks with Javian Toviano, those are two players that, should be multi-year starters. They should be able to play at a high level and really, hold down those types of receivers. And I think that's where it starts. This is such a passing, league in a way with how good these wide receivers are coming out of high school and how polished they are. You think of Georgia and Alabama, you kind of think of, ground and pound, but they're able to do that because of how talented these wide receivers and these tight ends are that they have, especially Georgia with what they've done. Remaking the corner room for LSU has been key in this. And I really do think this is a roster that's getting close. It might not be there next year where they get back to Atlanta, but they have the talent to do it. And I think this year is a prime example why, beating Alabama. They were able to get to Atlanta, win the SEC West, and they scored the most points on Georgia. This is a program that with Brian Kelly at the helm has a very, very high floor, and I think most LSU fans will realize that. It's not perfect, but the floor is very, very high with Brian Kelly at the helm.
visiting with Billy Embody of On 3 Sports. You definitely go check him out. You want to become a subscriber as well of On 3 Sports. I think it's like $1 to join. Bengal Tiger On 3. A couple more for you. A couple minutes left with Billy. Billy, got to get your reaction on Jaden Daniels returning. Everybody in our Bayou 4 chat, they're talking about it right now. Does that mean Nuss leaves? I mean, you got your ear close to it. I mean, you got your sources and everything. Give us a quick take on the quarterback room.
Yeah, I think Jaden Daniels coming back is huge. I think it's like any quarterback, quite honestly. There are very few that don't get grief around the country for their play. But the truth is always somewhere in the middle. I think Jaden Daniels brings something different with his legs, his down-the-field passing, and, Garrett Nussmeier entering the game against Georgia kind of brought this even more to light. His down-the-field passing has to improve. That is just without a doubt. The wide receiver talent is too good. They have too many weapons to not be throwing the football down the field. And you add the tight ends that they've added, and now that should open things up. So he's got the wheels, ran for 818 yards this past year, double-digit touchdowns on the ground. He did what he needed to really step up and help LSU through that offensive line, kind of rebuild and piecing that thing together. And to now take the next step, which is becoming a better passer, especially making explosive plays down the field, that'll be what's key. I'm not going to sit here and say, though, that Garrett Nussmeier can't challenge. And it wouldn't surprise me if Garrett Nussmeier stuck around. Look, all these quarterbacks look around. Every roster, every player around the country, make sure that his situation going into next season is as good as he can have and feel comfortable with each offseason if they have that transfer available, which Garrett Nussmeier and Walker Howard do. And so all those rumors that you'll hear over the next however many months, they're probably to an extent somewhat true. And that's because these players have to check it out for themselves. I mean, think about this. If LSU would have landed Desmond Ricks, they still would have gotten Denver Harris from what we hear. And then that changes, it doesn't change everything, but Desmond Ricks steps in and he says, wait. A 5-star, Denver Harris, he's going to play right away. And quite honestly, Denver Harris is better than Desmond Ricks at this point in time. But same with Javian Toviano. He's probably thinking, oh, wow, I can't, kind of walk in and start. That's kind of the same thing with the quarterback position. LSU's not going to add a transfer, but this is a position group that you just don't feel comfortable with until you're the starter as a player. There's only one ball. There's only one guy that gets the snaps every game. So these players will look around quietly. And honestly, I'm not sure what will happen with Garrett Nussmeier. I'm not sure what will happen with Walker Howard. History kind of tells us that one of them might leave at some point. It's just kind of how it goes. And, the odds would be tilted towards Garrett Nussmeier. That said, he played last year against Georgia. He played at times. He's shown that he has the ability. So Garrett Nussmeier is somebody that loves LSU. He's hosted recruits. He's been a leader. And if he feels like he can beat out Jaden Daniels in the spring, who knows? He might stick around and try to do that and, play and win the starting job. And he'd be a very good quarterback, just like Jaden Daniels would be if he stuck around.
Billy, we appreciate it, man. Great job. I know y'all work never stops. Was going to ask you about 2024. We'll do that another time, man, because people are already asking about it. So take care, my friend. Thanks for coming on.
Anytime. Thanks for having me, Troy. Have a good one, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and yours as well. Full of knowledge, those guys. And look, let me tell you something about those guys. Coach, you know this. I know this. Mario and Danny know those guys have contacts. I think Shea Dixon said it. He's with On 3. Don't watch what the recruits tweet out. Watch where they go. And what was surprising a little bit was Desmond Ricks. Some people asking, who's Desmond Ricks? Obviously, he's the younger brother of Ricks that plays at Alabama now, who was at LSU. It looks like everything pointed to him that he was going to come to LSU. Even they interviewed him yesterday on one of the recruiting sites. Interviewed him. And he said, "I'm looking forward to coming to LA." And he caught himself. Right. So who knows? Did they drop the bag? That everybody does it. So don't get mad at it. So Desmond Rick is going to Alabama, but Denver Harris, I think, is a big pickup if he can keep it straight. So we'll take a quick time out. We come back. We'll talk some LSU Purdue in the Citrus Bowl with Tom Dienhart. We'll do that next on O2B.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org. It's coming from a guy in an Olaf costume. Hey, remember, Freeze is coming in. First off, Merry Christmas from your friends at Central Plumbing. 925-8552. Look, go to centralplumbing.org today, though, or call them up, 925-8552, because the freeze is coming in. And if you want preventative measures, right, get your pipes wrapped, everything that you have to do to make sure that you don't run into any issues, you can call Central Plumbing. They're ready. They're waiting. They can get out to your home immediately. They can get it done. If anything breaks, Jake, you get a burst pipe, anything, over the next few days with this freeze, 24/7 emergency service. They ordered up the inventory. They got people on call. Again, they are ready to go at a moment's notice. Merry Christmas from your friends. They're there for you during this cold. CentralPlumbing.org.
225-925-8552 is that number. Make sure that you are prepared. Again, you can call that number today to get ready for it. But if somehow, some way you're not ready for it, they can come help you if something does happen. Again, 225-925-8552.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
My dad just really enjoyed his life, and he enjoyed smoking cigars and thought he was invincible. My stepdad quit smoking, and he really felt like he was in the clear. Sorry. I wish they would have been screened annually. It's not just you affect, it's your entire family.
For more information on Ochsner's free smoking cessation program and to see if you qualify for early lung screenings, visit ochsner.org/quit.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
It's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. A giant portal day for LSU and the Riot Radio Hours on our final show before Christmas. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Man, it doesn't show signs of stopping.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back to Off the Bench. Troy LaBeouf and Coach Eric Hell filling in for the guys today as they prepare for the stretch run of the college football season. Happy to have on our next guest, Tom Dienhart of On3, covering the Purdue Boilermakers. Tom, good morning. How are you?
I am doing good. We're inching ever closer to this bowl game here. I'm not sure who's going to show up for Purdue, but it's been a very eventful last couple of weeks in West Lafayette, no doubt.
That's what we have you on for today. We want to know who's going to show up. All the LSU fans that are watching us on YouTube and listening right there, they want to know who's going to be on the other side. We found out yesterday, obviously, I'm sure you saw that Jaden Daniels announced that he will be playing in the bowl. He will be returning next year. But Purdue's lost some pretty big names going into this game. Talk about that and talk about some of the guys. Mention some names that LSU fans could be looking for on the other side.
Yeah, sort of the wheels have come off here for Purdue ever since Jeff Brom left to take the Louisville job a couple weeks ago. Offensively, three big losses, right? Quarterback Aiden O'Connell, wide receiver Charlie Jones, and tight end Payne Durham all have chosen to opt out. Again, three very key players. And one of their best offensive linemen hit the portal early, too, on December 5th. He's already left and committed to UCLA. So that's four key guys on offense gone. And defensively, their two best players won't play. Cornerback Corey Trice and sort of a linebacker safety, a guy named Jalen Graham. So, again, you're talking about six guys, six of their top players will not be suited up in Orlando on January 2nd. So I know LSU went through something similar last year, I'm told, had about 37 players for their bowl game. So Purdue's going to sort of be limping in here sort of as the Rocky Balboa to LSU's Apollo Creed, at least in Rocky 1, right?
Right, no doubt about it.
Tom, interesting situation you mentioned about the players, the roster taking some hits. Of course, Jeff Brom takes the job at Louisville, his alma mater. His brother Brian will be the interim coach and will follow him to Louisville after the bowl game. 5 of the 10 full-time staff members have remained on this bowl staff. Drew Brees comes in. They have analysts and GAs. Give us some insight into what's going on there. We know about the roster, but give us some insight there into the coaching side of it.
Yeah, much to the interest of your listenership and viewership. Drew Brees dropping by campus. He got on campus last Sunday, and they had practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Everybody was dismissed on the 21st. So, yeah, he's an actual assistant coach, interim, of course. But he can recruit. He can obviously be on the field and instruct these guys, which he was doing. And you know what? It's a psychological lift as much as anything else, really, guys. They didn't want to make it just a ceremonial thing. That's why he's got actual coaching chops, if you will, and was hired as accountable assistant coach, as they like to say, in NCAA rules parlance. So, again, it's been a lift for the guys on the team to work with Drew Brees, and for the fan base too, right? And Drew he loves everything Purdue, and it was his idea. I guess he called the AD and wanted to know if he could do anything to help get him through this transition. So it's been sort of a lift for everybody in the program, and he's going to be in Orlando. He'll coach the bowl game, be on the sidelines. So again, it's going to be a fun little, I guess, sidebar story all week during that Citrus Bowl.
Tom, over, under, and how many times they show Drew on the sideline?
I know he's probably going to hijack the telecast, right?
Take a drink. Take a drink every time we watch. Hey, look, we'll all be watching it. We're excited about it. You guys will be covering it. We just want to watch football. And, referring back to what you said about LSU's bowl game last year against Kansas State, it was a mash. I mean, it was not fun. I mean, we had a wide receiver playing quarterback. Obviously, Purdue would not have that. What can LSU fans expect as far as what Purdue does offensively and defensively versus LSU?
Yeah, we've spoken to Brian Brom a couple times, and they're not going to change. He's called the offense. He's been an interim head coach for one game back in 2020 when Jeff Brom had COVID. Brian took over and coached them to a win over Iowa. So, again, they have a sixth-year senior quarterback who's going to take Aiden O'Connell's place to start a couple games, kid named Austin Burton, who transferred from UCLA. And they've still got about 4 or 5 pretty good receivers. No real playmakers, guys like Charlie Jones. They have the good redshirt freshman running back. Watch number 45, Devin Mockabee. Has been a real fun story this year. He's shooting for 1,000 yards. He needs 80 to get there. And the first day that the new football coach, Ryan Walters, got the job, walked in the team meeting and gave Devin Mockabee a scholarship. And it was one of those video moments that always goes viral, right? So they're not going to change offensively. They're going to want to throw it around, but they can run the ball with Mockabee. But I will say this, guys, their offensive line, it's razor thin. They've got about 5 guys that I really think they're comfortable playing. If they have to dip into the bench for any reserve linemen, it could get very interesting.
Not giving you any secrets or anything. Everybody knows LSU will be without 3 of their 4 starting defensive linemen in this game, guys that are opted out and heading to the draft. So it should be interesting. Not sure what the weather's going to look like in Orlando. I'm assuming, are you going down live to cover it, Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to leave on the 30th and come back on January 3rd. So I'll be down for 4 days there. And, hey, man, anything's got to be warmer than in central Indiana in late December, right?
I tell you what, we're getting it right now, man. It was Coach Hill and I, we're both former high school coaches, filling in today, and we drove in at 23, 24 degrees this morning. No snow. No snow.
Baton Rouge.
In Baton Rouge, man. Man, we appreciate your time. We look forward to watching, following you on Twitter, and that way we can see the coverage going on from the Purdue side of it. Thanks for coming on this morning.
Hey, appreciate it. You guys have a good holiday.
Absolutely. Happy holidays to you. Tom Dienhart. Coach, that name, why does that name just ring a bell to me? Is he a former coach?
Dienhart?
Yeah, I don't know. I should have done a little bit more research on him, but guy's got a lot of knowledge, obviously, when you cover a team like that. But it's going to be very interesting to see what type of field. We're going to talk about it in the next 8:15. You and I are going to talk about. We're going to break this game down a little bit. Who's in, who's out. As I mentioned, it looks like LSU will be without 3 of the 4 starting defensive linemen in the game. Kai Wingo, it looks like he'll be on the field. So we'll see. We'll take a quick time out. We'll come up. We'll wrap up hour number 1. You don't want to miss it. Got a little special treat for you. Washington Commanders. I'll just leave it at that. We'll be right back.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge and a Merry Christmas from your friends over here at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. It's right there off of Airline Highway. We love them. They're some of the main supporters of the show, man. There's a reason why you see their signage behind us every day. The reason why they do 2 reads a day, and because they make the show happen. So if you love OTB, which thank you if you do, you love All-Star Toyota, and I do. Like, I have nothing in the deal that says I have to get my vehicles from there, but I've been so happy. My Toyota Sienna minivan, the Camry. I'm excited to see what's next, as my lease is about to be up on that Camry. But the bottom line is, whether you want new, used, whatever, All-Star Toyota has it all, and they're right there off of Airline Highway for you.
Go to the website today. Today, really starting the holidays, right? Probably got family coming into town tomorrow. Maybe you're leaving out of town tomorrow. It is not too late to rent a Toyota. Per day rental prices. You can rent it today. Go pick it up today. Bring it back in a week. Bring it back in 2 days. Whatever. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail.
Lock of the Week Friday, presented by Tex Morris and Edward Jones Investments. We're at Rufino's. That's right. Game Time, presented by Bet Rivers on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., which includes Handy Tom.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Esther and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Wrapping up hour number one, Fast and Furious. Just went super fast. We appreciate our guests from hour number one, Billy Embody and Tom Dienhart, covering Purdue football, Billy covering recruiting in LSU. Coach, I want to talk a little bit about the Pro Bowl. You and I were talking about it with the guys as well, Mario and Danny. Completely different setup for the Pro Bowl in 2023.
Skills competition. It became kind of a farce the last few years. No tackling involved and took the physicality out of the game. It really made it a touch football game. So why not play a touch football game and make it a skills competition, but still involve the fans? The fans are still going to show up to see these guys, and it'll be really good. Cool to see guys like Peyton and Eli Manning, who are the head coaches for the AFC and NFC teams, respectively.
Do you watch their format on Monday Night Football?
That's the only thing I watch.
Oh, you're my son. I mean,
that's the only thing I watch. Last year when it was introduced, I started watching it, and it was incredible. If you have an opportunity, go back to last year when they had Tom Brady on, and Eli could not get a word in. Peyton and Tom were engaged in talking football and offenses and X's and O's and reading defenses and coverages, and it was really a master class in the nuts and bolts of football. Nick Saban was a guest last year. That was really good. It's the way to watch it, I think, for me, for my enjoyment.
The interaction. So congratulations to Demario Davis, the man of God, the linebacker for the New Orleans Saints. He makes his first Pro Bowl. That guy's a player, man. He just makes plays, and he just plays so hard. It looks like every play he feels like, to me, it looks like it's almost going to be his last play the way he plays.
It's the way you're supposed to play. He is consistent in his play. I think that's one thing if you watch the Saints like we do on a regular basis. I think the consistency that he plays with, the aggressiveness, the physicality that he brings to it, but also his intelligence in reading plays and on run plays, his run fits, where to fit in the gap and where the ball's going to end up. You can tell that he studies a ton of film. He understands what the other team is doing, what their run concept is, and does a great job with reading linemen into the backfield and where to end up on his drops. He's just in the right place at the right time. He's got 6.5 sacks, which leads the Saints. We'll talk about that down the road today in another segment. But when you look at it and you say, well, who's the Pro Bowl player? I think if you said they got one, he'd be the guy.
That's no question. I completely. Twitter is good and bad. I came across something really good when you talk about the Pro Bowl, and that's Riverboat Ron Rivera, the head coach of the Washington Commanders. I wanted to say Redskins, but it's Commanders, obviously. And we're going to play this clip. Danny's going to play this clip where Ron, if you hadn't seen it, this is great. Look, I'm not saying it's sorry to say that I teared up a little bit watching it. Typically when head coaches call players in, it's not a good thing. You see it on Hard Knocks. We're going to get rid of you, blah, blah, blah. I'm cutting you. But this was a special, special moment for Jeremy Reeves, who's a special teamer. And, Coach, he's a pretty good one for the Washington Commanders. So let's take a look at this clip from Washington.
Hold on. Wait till we finish here, okay?
Ooh, my bad, Coach. Sorry
Jimmy,
about
give me a second, Jimmy. I got to talk to you.
I didn't even knock. I apologize.
What's up, Coach? Hey, Jimmy. How you doing? Listen, congratulations, you're a Pro Bowl player.
Oh my gosh, you got me.
No, congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Coach.
No, I'm very proud, very happy.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Pro Bowl player.
Oh, dope. That's
yes,
what's up.
you are, man. I'm proud of you.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. You knew, didn't you?
I had a feeling. I ain't want to add.
You showed everybody why you're the face of our franchise.
I appreciate that, Coach.
No,
Thanks
proud
for
of you,
telling
man.
me. Yes, sir.
Jonathan Allen,
Cool.
Tress Way,
Nice.
and Jeremy Reeves.
That's big. Reeves got in?
Yeah,
so he deserves it.
He's the special
He's
teams
a difference
guy.
maker.
Yeah.
He's been a difference maker all year for us.
I'm only going to tell you one other guy, okay? And
Can I ask who?
Yeah.
Who?
Jeremy.
Oh my God!
But you can't say anything, okay? I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna talk to him right after his defensive meeting. Okay?
Oh hell no! Pull him out of that, man. Are you kidding me? Could you? I wanna be here when you tell him. I'll hide, but like, can I be here when you tell Reeves?
Yeah, you can. I'm happy to have you here. You, Jeremy? No, yeah. Don't mind him. We're just finished. I got to finish that up in a second. But listen, congratulations. You're the Pro Bowl special teams guy. You're the starter. You earned it, young man. Everything you've done, and I know your mom would be proud. You earned it, young man.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Yo, he wouldn't stop.
Congrats, dude. Love you too. Thank you, man.
All right. Nah, you earned it. Like I said, man. I just appreciate you trusting me.
Always, Coach. Told you I went to a brick wall for you.
No, I know you would too. Well, I appreciate you. I'm very proud of you. I really am. Nah, you earned it, young man.
Thank you.
You earned it.
Yes, sir.
That's freaking awesome.
Huh. That's tough. That's awesome.
It's a great, like you said, sometimes Twitter isn't very nice, but this was a great moment that the Commanders put out there. Got an opportunity to see that yesterday, and just following special teams like I do, and knowing Jeremy Reeves, and he's the special teams tackle leader in the NFL and also the special teams snap leader. And one thing that's apparent, you got Terry McLaurin, who's, as Ron Rivera said, he's the face of the franchise, probably the best player on that team. And you could see how excited he was that Jeremy Reeves made the Pro Bowl. It says a lot about the culture of that team and the locker room, and that's what when your best player is excited for a guy that doesn't get a lot of notoriety like Reeves, and he's that excited, that says a lot.
That was awesome. Left me speechless when I watched it the first time. It did it to me again. Don't go anywhere. Got another good 2 hours coming for you. We're going to talk some more football, some LSU basketball. We'll do it at the top of the next hour. This is Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Accutemp of BatonRouge.com, AccutempBR.com to be specific. Actually, the company's Accutemp of Baton Rouge. And I love Accutemp of Baton Rouge because of, the customer service, right? I mean, the quality of the work is great. And really, I don't think you can become a successful AC, heating, or electric company, Jake, if you just can't, actually fix the problem. But how do you separate yourself? You do quality work, and you provide a quality experience. And that's what Accutemp does. They say service to the highest degree, but they mean it. Okay, so any AC or heating or electrical needs, hit up our friends at Accutemp. Merry Christmas from Accutemp of Baton Rouge.
AccutempBR.com. Right now, maybe you're at work. Chances are you're not, but if you are, you can go ahead and get that chat started right there on the website. But remember, you can always pick up the phone, give them a call, 225-396-2071, and let them know what you're looking for them to do. Call them today or always online again, AccutempBR.com.
Toyota in Opelousas is here to help you ring in the new year with no markups, and you'll never pay over MSRP. And we have new inventory arriving daily. So Happy New Year from our Corvell Toyota family to yours.
Every business is different, but B1 Bank knows that every business owner has similar needs. From streamlining accounts receivables to maintaining access to working capital, a trusted bank is your best asset for staying on top of day-to-day finances and planning for future business growth. At B1 Bank, I know I have access to commercial banking experts who care about the needs of my business and can guide me to accomplish my goals. B1 Bank knows that managing your business isn't simple, but they can help you make it uncomplicated.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water.
Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Friday, December 23rd. Your government taco forecast in Baton Rouge. Expect cloudy skies with a high of 35. Coming up on OTB, Troy LaBeouf and Eric Held are here to host, and John Brady calls in at 8:30 to talk LSU basketball. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, good morning. If you just joining in, this is not T-Bob. This is not Hester. Danny and Mario are here, but it's Coach Hill and myself, Troy LaBeouf, filling in for the guys as they get a much-needed day of rest. I know the guys behind the glass over there would like to get one as well, but everybody will be starting their little holidays. And Mario, Monday, on, off? I don't know.
Oh, we're off Monday.
Off Monday, so
yes.
It's the day after Christmas, so that's kind of the holiday when it falls on a Sunday. Thanks for tuning in. It looks like everybody liked our little Washington Commanders piece there. Kind of pulled at the heartstrings of folks, and if you missed it, you can go back and watch it on 1045ESPN.com. You can go back and watch all the replays and go to the page, and they have all the different shows on there. If you are listening to us, whatever way, on YouTube, watching us, or listening on radio, we certainly appreciate it. A couple more hours left. From the 8 to 9, we'll have Coach John Brady on at 8:30. You and I, in the next segment, we'll actually talk a little more in depth about the LSU-Purdue game because people still care about LSU football, even if they're not playing for a national championship. And just to kind of recap headlines we talked about in the 7 o'clock hour, LSU's putting itself in position to possibly play for a championship with the return of quarterback Jaden Daniels. If you look at other guys, and I don't want to steal from our next segment, offensively, LSU's got just about everybody coming back. I know they lose some receivers, and we'll talk about that more in the next segment. But to me, if you look at the national championship teams from 3, from 7, should have had it in 11. Smile should have won 2 of them. Offensive, defensive line. And when you can return 5 guys, plus Dellinger, plus what's coming in, Zalen's Hurd out of Neville. He's telling he told Coach Kelly, and Coach Kelly talked about it. I'm coming in to start, even though his buddy starts at left tackle, Will Campbell. So it looks like that's where they're building in the tight end room to prepare for the future of this LSU football team.
Yeah, you look at the offensive line the last couple of years, and there wasn't a whole lot of development. Brad Davis has done a tremendous job. He came in and really had some guys that had some experience, but let's be truthful, they weren't very good. There wasn't a whole lot of development, but Coach Davis has come in, and development has been key, just building reps upon reps and getting those guys experience, getting Campbell and Jones, who are going to be high draft picks in 2 years or in 3 years if they don't come out after their junior year. But then Hurd coming in from Neville, and who's to say he can't start at guard right away? There is a lot of depth. They have the starters returning, but, hey, get in there and compete and give the guy an opportunity to win a job. Davis and Denbrock and Kelly have shown that we'll start true freshmen on the offensive line. And Campbell and Jones just got infinitely better over the course of the season. And for Hurd to come in and start, to say that he's going to start, I mean, that's certainly a possibility.
I wouldn't put it past him. He's a fantastic player. He's one of the top players in that class, and LSU did bring in a fantastic class. Something I wanted to mention I thought was interesting. You may have saw it, you may have not. I'm assuming you did. Drake May, the quarterback in North Carolina who's returning, reports out there he was offered up to $5 million to transfer to some schools. Does that surprise you in the world that we're in now?
In the NIL world today, nothing's surprising.
$5 million.
$5 million. It's that for there are people out there that can just take out their checkbook and write that out and sign the check, and here's $5 million for you to come. But it shows how important the quarterback position is to win a national championship. You mentioned LSU's championships. Matt Mock, Matt Flynn, Joe Burrow, Daniels is coming back. Hey, let's see the competition between him, Nussmeier, and Howard. But you look at Burrow in 2018. He had a good year, not great. It wasn't jumping off the chart.
But it was obviously the second year.
Correct, and he was probably a 5th or 6th round draft pick at best. And he parlayed his 2019 season and his development into being the number 1 overall pick, and look where he is now with the Bengals, led him to the Super Bowl. So, as you mentioned, there's some holes to fill, but you're able to do it with building a solid recruiting class, but also through the transfer portal and through development. And that's what this coaching staff has done such a great job with on the field, off the field, with player development.
Say this word, Alabama. Saban was pretty upset the situation last year at Texas A&M. They bring in all the top recruits. They really take advantage of NIL, which they should. Everybody should. It's legal. Now, you look at Texas A&M, they've had a smorgasbord of transfers. A lot of those players, including one that's coming to LSU, and Denver Harris, who we're expecting to play early at LSU, maybe even start. But I think Saban it really stoked him, and he doesn't need any type of motivation, but they go ahead and get the number 1 rated recruiting class, I think 7 or 8 5-stars. And to me, it feels a little bit different from what they've done in the past, because I really think, like when you were a player in high school, if you were going against a particular player, you might put his picture up in a locker. You think he had Jimbo's picture in his locker? Hey, man, I'm not going to sleep until I make sure I'm back on top of the recruiting rankings and top of college football.
I don't think Nick Saban needs anything to motivate himself. I don't think he is concerned with Jimbo Fisher, what he says, what he does at Texas A&M. It's all about Alabama. We're going to do what we do continuously. You look at what Saban's done in 2007, 2012, 17, 2020, last year, this year. It's pretty much the same. There's been, of course, some adjustments because you've always got to continue, but that same format, that blueprint that he's used is there. He's had to adjust. He doesn't like NIL. He doesn't like the transfer portal, but he's adjusted, and he's got to play the game, and he knows if he doesn't, he's going to fall behind. And nothing surprises me or us when it comes to Alabama recruiting. You look at A&M and you look at some of those guys that are transferring. One thing that's certainly something to look at, we mentioned off air, the number of 4- and 5-star players out there who are entering the portal after 1 or 2 years. That's definitely a red flag out there with the system, with the way it is.
I mean, it's not going to get any better, folks. I can promise you. I think what NIL does do, you look at a quarterback like we mentioned, Drake May, it convinces a guy like him who really should be going to the NFL, it seems like. Now, he's only 20 years old. I just looked up his bio. NIL could get guys to come back. That could be a situation with Jaden Daniels. That may have something to do with him. Obviously, he's in with Gordon, get it done, with the local attorney here, who's a big sponsor here at 104.5 ESPN. So that could be part of it. I wanted to mention in this first segment, too, Florida, who's just did not have a great season, win-loss record. The debate was Billy Napier versus Brian Kelly. Personally, I think I was happy that Brian Kelly got the position over Billy Napier. And I don't know if Billy Napier was even a candidate, but it looks like they had a pretty good recruiting class. That's supposedly a strength of Coach Napier as far as recruiting.
Yeah, I'm a Billy Napier fan. Really got an up close and personal look at what he did at UL and his time there, and just got things going. And I think they won 9 or 10 games every year he was there, and just phenomenal. The staff that he built, the job that they did, building through Louisiana high schools, but also going out of state and getting guys, going to get the best guys that fit their program. I think it'll take some time. I don't think there were delusions of grandeur for Napier and his staff when they went to Florida. They knew the situation, but they also know the possibilities, and that's the allure of it. Yeah, you can say, well, he's going to go from being a $2 million man down the road to being a $5 or $6 million man at Florida. Yeah, that's great, the paycheck, but being able to get it back to how it was under Spurrier and Urban Meyer, that's kind of what you see at the end of the tunnel and the journey on getting there. How do I get there, the process of getting there? He learned from two of the best, and Dabo at Clemson and Saban at Alabama. It worked at UL on a smaller scale. I believe that it's going to work on the bigger scale in the SEC at Florida.
Coach Beamer in South Carolina, I really like what they did this year. I mean, obviously, they beat Clemson. It was Clemson down a little bit, maybe. But your take on what Coach Beamer, who's obviously comes from a background of special teams with his dad and all, and I know you're a special teams guy. I think he did a fantastic job for South Carolina.
Great fit for South Carolina. Grew up right up the road at Virginia Tech, learning under his dad, but has been a number of places, was at Oklahoma. But South Carolina early on this year, they were kind of my underdog pick, so to speak, in the East. And eventually they got things rolling. And I really think South Carolina is in the shadow of Clemson in that state, but they're starting to pick away at Clemson and get a few guys here or there that they were able to maybe sway from looking at the bigger picture at Clemson, who's won national championships. They're able to get guys who had Georgia on their mind next door, or North Carolina, or Florida, or other SEC schools to really focus on staying in state, or to come here to Columbia and make a visit and see what we're about. He's built a great staff there, and I think they're doing a great job in SEC East.
Arkansas was a hot team early in the season, and boy, they kind of just fizzled a little bit. People compare their situation to when Coach O took over at LSU, kind of like the CEO type guy, and you got to have really good coordinators. Arkansas loses both of their coordinators. That's going to be big. I know I think they got a guy from South Carolina to come in and coordinate on the offensive side. So, and I really like Sam Pittman. I think he's a likable guy, but it seems like their stock is down a little bit.
I think, and we talked about this back during the summer, where for me, South Carolina was that team that was ready to get over the hump, and a lot of people talked about Arkansas being that team that was going to make moves. I just didn't see it. I like Sam Pittman, but there's just something about that program that just says, hey, we're stuck at 500. Brett Bielema came down from Wisconsin and struggled mightily. Pittman knows the SEC, but in a lot of ways it's tough to recruit there to Fayetteville. It's a small market in the SEC West. There's just something about it for me personally. Some of the intangibles that are associated with that program that are just, I think they're a 7-5 max every year type program. That's just me.
Yeah, I agree with you. Last one before we get out of here, and then we'll talk LSU versus Purdue, who's in, who's out for the bowl game, and kind of break that down a little bit before we talk to Coach John Brady at 8:30, talk LSU basketball. Mike Leach, you and I hadn't had a chance to talk about that. Just here today, gone tomorrow, 61 years old. Obviously, they promote the defensive coordinator, who LSU looked at before they settled on the defensive coordinator they have now. So, Coach House. So, just your reflection real quick on Coach Mike Leach.
Yeah, Leach, I remember going to a coach's clinic in the summer and buying the Nike Coach of the Year, the thick book, and going out with the coaching staff. I was at Holy Cross in '98 and coming back to the room at 2 a.m. after a night out and flipping through the book and just reading articles, going through articles. And Mike Leach had an article about wide receiver drills. I was a receiver coach, and he had a tennis ball, racquetball machine that he did drills with the receivers. So I said, man, this is great. I called the Kentucky coach's office, left a message and asking Coach Leach to call me back, talk about the drills, and I'm thinking, this guy will never call me back. About a week later, he called back. My wife said, Mike Leach is on the phone. Well, I taught with a Mike Leach at Holy Cross, so I'm thinking it's the teacher, Mike Leach,
right,
who I work with, and a phenomenal English teacher. And he says, hey, this is Mike Leach. I said, hey, Teach, what's going on? Hey, when we're going to have the summer social and get the teachers together to go to mix and drink. And, it was the Coach Leach. And he's like, hey, that sounds good, And then I actually hung up because I didn't
You thought
really
he was
believe.
just messing with you, yeah.
Phone rings right back, and I apologize. And he talked to me 20 minutes about these receiver drills nonstop. I didn't get a word in. And we got disconnected. He called right back, and he said, I said, Coach, I don't mean to take up your time in the summer. He said, I've been on vacation 5 days. I'm bored, with my wife and kids. I just want to talk some football. So that was great, and told him, hey, I'm going to come see you after the game when y'all play LSU this year. And that's when Couch led the drive on the last drive, and they defeated LSU in '98 on the game-ending drive for the Wildcats. Talked with him 30 minutes after. And he hung out with my dad and I, talked with us, unbelievable. Talked to him at a coach's clinic, just very personable. He's a different guy now. He had loafers on and a plastic cup of coffee, but just...
What's on that little index card?
Yeah, he's got a small index card of his calls. And there's route adjustments and read adjustments and all that, but a very small run game, of course. But he's one of a kind, certainly missed, and definitely an innovator and brought a lot of character to college football.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll break down LSU Purdue as they get ready for the Citrus Bowl. Who's in, who's out? I don't want to miss it. Come right back with us.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Time doesn't stop.
and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, Hunt Palmer wishing you all a very Merry Christmas this weekend. Hope you stay warm. I am out on Friday, but Max Gotro is going to fill in, talk a little gambling, get you ready for Saints and Browns. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 on Friday. Merry Christmas, everybody. On 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Man, you like Christmas music? I do.
Andy Williams, that's my favorite Christmas song right there, the most wonderful time of the year. Didn't tell the guys to cue it up, but without a doubt that, and then Happy Holidays. As a kid, my mom would play that during Christmas season. We had the old hi-fi with the combination TV record player that weighed like 10,000 pounds.
Well, you're aging us, Coach.
Yeah.
You're aging. You and I went to Nichols at the same time. We walked the hollow halls of what's a hall? Elkins.
Polk.
Nichols State University. I start listening to Christmas music. Drives my wife and family crazy, but I start listening right after around Halloween. So I do.
I'm the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so I do listen. So short segment here before we get to Coach John Brady talk LSU basketball. Wanted to get into a little bit of we had Tom Dienhart on earlier talking about what we can expect from Purdue. What about LSU? What can we expect? It was announced that LSU's defensive line is going to be obviously a little thin going into this game. Alec Gay is not going to be playing in this game. Jaquelin Roy, he's went ahead and declared for the NFL draft. Jaquelin right there from U-High. Wish he'd have came back for his senior year, but I get it. He feels like this is money year for him. He's got an opportunity to show what he can do out there. Also, obviously, Ojulari, who plays the jack position, which is basically a stand-up outside linebacker that rushes the passer. He's a 4-down guy, 3-down guy. So who are some guys going to be stepping in? A guy that I watched this year who I thought played really good football, and he's right there from really close to where I live is Savion Jones from St. James. I thought Savion really grew up this year. I had a chance to watch him in his high school career, covered some of his games. Watched him take a ball on the baseline in a basketball game right there in the gym where I coached at Ascension Catholic and just rattled the rim. And I knew right there he was a fantastic athlete. So Savion Jones, Jacobian Guillory going to play on that defensive line. Do we see Ty-G Hill, the freshman? Maybe. He was listed on the depth chart. And obviously, Mekhi Wingles had a fantastic season. So talk about the defensive line. Who are some guys that go to play in this bowl game?
Another guy locally, a few miles from here, Quincy Wiggins from Madison Prep.
And he can play in that game, and it doesn't hurt his red shirt. I think that rule came out. Normally he can play in 3, but he can play in this game, and it won't hurt him. That's something they did with the portal situation, everything in NCAAs.
One of the great things is with this bowl system, the way it's set up, and guys who are going in the draft, is it helps in their development toward next year. The number of reps you get in the meeting room with your position coach, in the position drills, in pass rush drills, in going against O-linemen and tight ends and running backs and blitz pickup, and getting all those reps and then playing in the game, in a bowl game, the development you receive in this 2 to 3 week period, and then playing in the bowl game, you kind of put that and you invest it in the bank, and it goes towards 2023. So that's kind of the exciting thing for me to see. One thing we forget to talk about, Mason Smith. He's kind of been forgotten about. He was lost, unfortunately, in week 1, but that's another guy. So you're looking at 4 guys, really, because you lose Smith, but then you lose Gay, Ojolari, and Roy. But this gives your younger guys an opportunity to play, see what you got for the future, and make them step up. And, hey, you were brought here to be a player. It's time to play.
Mike Jones is a reserve that started.
Who?
Mike Jones, yeah, Mike Jones. I like that. But obviously, could Harold Perkins play the jack position? Maybe. I know they moved him around to get him on the field this year. He's had a fantastic freshman All-American, just like Campbell and Jones were as well, and obviously also Taylor, the tight end. But linebacker should be okay. Baskerville, Wes Weeks, Greg Penn, all of those guys will be there. I know Kobe Fields has jumped into the portal. He landed somewhere. I can't remember where I saw he landed. He was from the New Orleans area. Demario Tolan, Mekhi Garner not playing at cornerback. Jarek Bernard Converse will be one of those cornerbacks. It looks like they're going to they will have the services of Major Burns, Joe Fouché, Greg Brooks. I think Jay Ward's going to play the other corner as well. And then you got LaTerrence Welch, who was redshirted this season. He could provide some depth there. Kobe Richardson, who came from McNeese, can play in that corner position. So LSU will be down some players on the defensive side of the ball, but I think they'll have enough good players that they could put a respectable defense out there.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I don't think it's the attrition that Purdue's seeing on their side of the ball, where they've lost the starting quarterback, they've lost their best receiver, their tight end, their best offensive lineman, the offensive guard that went to UCLA, the backup running back left as well. And then on defense, you have the corner and linebacker / safety hybrid type guy. I don't think you see the attrition that Purdue has seen, but yeah, it's a concern. But again, hey, you've recruited players here, and it's December 23rd right now. They've had months to prepare and develop and get ready for this opportunity. So it'll be exciting to see these quote-unquote new guys play.
No doubt about it. If you watch it on the YouTube, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share it. It really helps out with the logarithms and everything, just to show who's watching and who's not. And also, if you're watching on 1045ESPN.com, the chat, look, Carla Cat is finally awake, and he's in the chat now. All the guys are, and there may be some ladies in there as well that I'm not aware of. They're all being active in the chat. Everybody's frisky this morning with 22-degree weather, so we appreciate them following up. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the coach, Coach John Brady, on, talk some LSU hoops. We'll do that next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
UK.
Huh?
Been watching a lot of footy, dude.
That's true.
Merry Christmas from your friends.
Merry
at
Christmas, yeah?
Donaldsonville Glass and Bond. Merry Christmas, yeah? Huh? Oh, it is Merry Christmas, isn't it? I guess Happy Christmas. Whatever. The point is,
Look, we're just trying something here.
we hope you're having a great Christmas season, holiday season from your friends over there at Donaldsonville Glass and Body, your number one car shop in the state, okay? Whether it's collision repair, remember free pickup and drop off on said collision repair because they got that beautiful tow truck. Remember, 24/7 towing available from Donaldsonville Glass and Body, okay? Any glass repair they need, any simple mechanical work. The bottom line is they are there for you and have been there for you since 1977, dgbauto.com.
Yeah, I mean, just a great family. We caught up with them yesterday. Love them being a part of OTB. They're an OG OT beer, and they're going to do great work for you as well. dgbauto.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2022 Ford F-150, plus no payments for 90 days and 2.9% APR for 72 months. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't?
16 in the NFL continues Saturday when the Patriots host Joe Burrow and the Bengals at noon, and the Steelers host the Raiders at 7:15 p.m. Then it's a Christmas Day tripleheader on Sunday with the Dolphins and the Packers at noon, the Rams and the Broncos at 3:30 p.m., and the Cardinals and the Buccaneers at 7:20 p.m. All here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Esther and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back to OTB. We transition from football to the round ball, right up my alley. And happy to have on Coach John Brady, the LSU Sports Radio Network color analyst. Good morning, Coach Brady.
Good morning, guys. How are you? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. You liking this weather, Coach? What you think?
Not really, but it's a little too cold down here in New Orleans for me. But I like at least the sun's out. That's a good thing.
You can't play golf in this for sure, Coach. But
no, it won't happen. Won't happen.
Listen to the post game. Actually, went to the game on Wednesday night. Took my son and some of his buddies. Watched the LSU Tigers, 11-1 on the season. Listened to y'all post game. I always, and I repeat always, 100%, I watch it on the big board, the field goal stat. LSU was in control of the basketball game. They led the field goal stat. It was like 57-38, and then the game changed. And it got to 47-46 in the field goal stat. East Tennessee State made a nice run. LSU was a little careless with the ball, didn't rebound it as they did in the first half. But talk about that game a little bit, and obviously we'll take a look at Arkansas.
Well, I think – hold on one second.
Go ahead, Coach. Visiting with Coach John Brady, talking some LSU hoops. East Tennessee State.
I'm back.
Oh, go ahead, Coach. Tigers 11-1 on the season. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, what I think East Tennessee State, I think they came out the second half a little more aggressive offensively. I think they drove the ball on us early on and opened up a couple of things for them in the perimeter. But I just think East Tennessee State was more aggressive offensively the second half, and then I don't think we defended maybe as well as Coach McMahon wanted us to, particularly off the dribble drive to the goal. And they just put their head down and tried to drive us, and then we went through a little lull. We've had little lulls on offense, and from time to time, and sometimes it's happened when we've substituted. Our first 5 or 6 guys have a nice flow about them, but sometimes when we have 3 subs in the game, we struggle to score it a little bit, and I think that's something that in SEC play, maybe our better players will probably getting most of the minutes, because you have a lull in the SEC against a couple of these teams that are coming up. It could be tough to come back from that.
Coach, speaking of lulls, as a coach, you've head coach for 25 years, and December is always kind of fascinating to me as a coach on how a basketball coach prepares their college team with the distraction of exams in the month of December, and also Christmas with the breaks in days of practice or breaks in days of games. Just give us a glimpse as a coach behind the scene on kind of the structure of your practices and leading up to games, and then you play a game, and then the guys go home, and then they come back for maybe a shoot around, then a practice, and a game. Just give us a glimpse into that, into how a coach structures practice and their schedule during this time.
Well, the game before they leave to go home, like our game with East Tennessee State, is one to be concerned with. You look around the league, A&M got beat their last game before Christmas. Ole Miss got beat their last game before Christmas. Mississippi State got beat their last game before Christmas against teams that you would assume that's why the coach scheduled them, because they want to win the last game to go home for Christmas, so everybody has a good taste in their mouth about it. But LSU was able to survive it. Those other 3 schools weren't. But on the other hand, when they come back from Christmas, you have about 2 or 3 weeks or so where there's no class, and all you have is basketball, and that's all they need to concentrate on. They've gotten the Christmas over with. They visited with their families. I always like that time of the year. When players come back, got everything done, now it's totally focused on basketball. And I think when LSU players come back, I think Sunday, I think they're going to practice Christmas Day. Matt said on the post-game interview, they practice Christmas Day evening. When you come back after they've gotten that out of their system, it's all SEC play, and it's nothing but basketball. And school doesn't start till, I don't know, the second week of January. So I always thought it was a great time to improve your team and work your team and practice your team.
Speaking of SEC play, Coach, visiting with Coach John Brady of the LSU Sports Radio Network, color analyst with Chris Blair. The Arkansas Razorbacks come into town on Wednesday after Christmas, the 28th, 10th-ranked team in the country. Fast pace, as they always play. They like to press. It just seems like those Arkansas teams, that's their mantra. But they may be without one of their best players in lottery pick Nick Smith. It looks like he's on the shelf a little bit. But Coach Musselman, you know him. He's going to come in with a good team. Talk about Arkansas a little bit, and then maybe go into the SEC as a whole.
Well, Arkansas is going to be who they are. They're going to try to play it fast, possibly shoot it quicker than some teams that we played. A lot of these mid-major schools that we've been playing, a lot of them have tried to be a little bit more patient, a little bit more selective in the half court because, nowadays it's hard to control the game on the defensive end. If you're going to control it at all, I think you have to take the shot clock down, as best you can on the offensive end. So, but Arkansas is not going to look to do that. They're going to press. They're going to play man to man. They'll throw some full court press and traps at us, and then they'll play some zone as well, depending on how the game is going. I think LSU is going to have to, be aggressive. A lot of times against aggressive defense, you need to be aggressive on offense and drive those guys and try to win the foul line against Arkansas. Make them get back in transition. A lot of teams that fast break all the time in practice, they don't defend it as well either. So I think LSU will probably run at times and then make them guard us in the half court as well. But Arkansas hasn't been following their scores. They haven't been able to really put it together yet. They've struggled with some teams that I thought the score would be a little more separated. And you are right. Their best player, I read that where he may be out, indefinitely for a while with a knee issue. So, but he's a freshman, and we'll just see. I'm interested to see the Arkansas team up close and personal. But the SEC overall, it's taken some hits here lately, and I hadn't seen all of them up close and personal, but I have watched a couple of those teams on TV, and I think maybe Alabama has separated itself just a little bit. Auburn's athletic, but I watched them the other day, and I've never seen so many bad shots taken in a game in my life. Arkansas is going to free shoot it as well. Kentucky doesn't have a point guard. Their offensive flow struggles. They had 52 or 53 points the other night, and if you've got guys you think are lottery picks, anyone could coach them to 52 or 53 points. So they're not right yet either. So I texted Matt the other day when I was following these scores, and I think there's some wins out there from the Tigers if we continue to improve and get better. I think there are 2 or 3 teams in the league that are a little ahead of the others, but I think there's a group in there that there's some opportunities for some wins, and we'll just see how it plays out.
Before I get you out of here, Coach, I want you to comment on the play of K.J. Williams, who came over with Coach McMahon. This is the first time I got to see him up close and personal. Very impressed. He looked like he went through a couple of injuries during the ball game, got hit a couple of times. I saw a trainer was taking a look at him. But talk about K.J. Williams. It looks like he's a double waiting to happen every night.
Yeah, he's been incredible. If you just read his numbers across the board, and you expect a guy 6'8" or 9" around the basket to score it and his field goal stat is high, but you look at what he's done from the 3-point line. He's shooting about 52% from the three, and it's not like he's 6 for 10. I mean, he's probably our leading attempts guy from the 3-point line, and he's certainly made 52%. That's incredible. His free throw stat is high. He's leading us in rebounding at 7.5 a game or so. So, he's just so important to be on the floor. I think the crossroads with him, number one, is can he stay healthy? Because the team needs him. And then number two, I think he's going to have to be able to play with some discipline. He's going to get 3 fouls because they're going to go at him and try to take him out of the game with fouling. So he's going to have some discipline defensively because even with 3 or 4 fouls, LSU needs him on the floor. And we'll see long term if how he can defend it without getting in foul trouble and get the minutes that are necessary for LSU to function at the level it needs to be quality teams.
Last one for you, Coach. Adam Miller so smooth with the basketball. He's in a little bit of a shooting slump right now. Love those lefties, how they can normally stroke the basketball. But are you concerned any with his shooting slump right now? I feel like he's going to get out of it.
Yeah, he needs to. I mean, we were looking for a third scorer there for a while, and Cam Hayes kind of took that role away the last 3 or 4 games. But the other night, Cam got in early foul trouble with 2, and Coach McMahon took him out. And then when he came back in, he never found the rhythm that he had been playing with after the foul trouble. And that's what I'm talking about. They have to play. Some of these guys have to log some minutes with foul trouble. But, Adam Miller's got to come out of it. And what my suggestion was, and Chris and I talking on the radio, is he just needs to forget about the three-point line and get quality shots that he knows he can make. It might be a drive to the goal. It may be a 10 or 12-footer. Just let the game kind of come to him and not let him try to go get his points by taking shots and maybe shooting some difficult shots. Just take some easy shots, let it come to him.
Coach, stay warm. It'll be chilly. We're looking to pack the PMAC on next Wednesday versus Arkansas. Look forward to listening to you and Chris on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
I appreciate that, guys, and I hope there is a good crowd for that team because we're certainly going to need all hands on deck for the Razorbacks.
Look forward to it, Coach. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
You too. Thank you.
All right, Coach John Brady there does a fantastic job. Coach Brady is in his element when he's talking hoops. And, over the years, when he coached at LSU, people would be like, oh, he gets too mad here and there. But he just coached with so much passion, and I took the LSU teams. He did some really good things with some LSU teams back in the day. So we'll take a timeout. We'll wrap up hour number 2. Don't go anywhere. It's Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge and a Merry Christmas from your friends over here at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. It's right there off of Airline Highway. We love them. They're some of the main supporters of the show, man. There's a reason why you see their signage behind us every day. The reason why they do 2 reads a day, and because they make the show happen. So if you love OTB, which thank you if you do, you love All-Star Toyota. And I do. Like, I have nothing in the deal that says I have to get my vehicles from there, but I've been so happy. My Toyota Sienna minivan, the Camry. I'm excited to see what's next. As my lease is about to be up on that Camry. But the bottom line is whether you want new, used, whatever, All-Star Toyota has it all, and they're right there off of Airline Highway for you.
Go to the website today. Today, really starting the holidays, right? Probably got family coming into town tomorrow. Maybe you're leaving out of town tomorrow. It is not too late to rent a Toyota. Per day rental prices. You can rent it today. Go pick it up today. Bring it back in a week. Bring it back in 2 days. Whatever. AllStarToyotaBatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Nearly half of children in foster care drop out of school. But you can rewrite that story. Change a child's story. Become a volunteer today.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird, but we can take care of it.
Get in and get better at Patient Plus.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Black Widow Jeep Gladiators in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Friday's AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. A giant portal day for LSU and the Riot Radio Hours on our final show before Christmas. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Do remind you, go to DraftKings over this Christmas season. Hey, a lot of great sports on Christmas, guys. Am I right? NFL slate, college bowl games, NBA games. So much sports to watch. But chances are it's a lot of sports maybe you don't have a rooting interest in. What's a great way to get a rooting interest? Play a little bit. Sprinkle a little money on there. $5, $10, $20, whatever you want, man. It's just fun. I like having my wife do my picks in situations like this, so she actually cares and will sit down and actually kind of watch and care about the game. And the place to do it is the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Promo code Baton Rouge. DraftKings Sportsbook app. Take advantage of the great sign-up deals if you have not already. They always got great boosts and promotions going on. Merry Christmas from DraftKings, Jake.
Oh, thank
21
you.
or older, Pittsburgh Present, Louisiana.
Well, I don't know if you wanted to add anything.
Minimum $5 deposit. See DraftKings.
You are by far
for full
the
terms and
most.
conditions. Licensee partner, Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP. 7867.
All right, guys, there's the DraftKings read there. The guys are not in the studio, taking the day off. I had a question from Nookie. Is the D-Gen Dome coming up today? I don't think so.
I doubt it. I don't think so.
We could always throw something together.
I mean, yeah, I'm down if y'all want to make some picks, but I think the segment with Jimmy and Megan and all those guys is on hiatus for now.
Oh, that's okay. We'll
Christmas
make some picks
hiatus
in here. The before we get out of here for hour number 2, the Pelicans, they moved to 19-12 on the season, 126-117. Watched the second half of that game last night. They did that without Ingram, without Zion last night, without Nance. I'm so old. I watched Nance's dad play.
Larry.
And, he could dunk the basketball. I see they gave up 42 in the fourth quarter, Mario, but this game was already under control. The Pels were up anywhere from 15 to 18 throughout the game. Talk about the game last night and what the Pelicans have moving forward coming up here over the Christmas break.
It was a good win. They're still third place in the Western Conference last I checked, but they were on the 4-game losing streak. You really wanted to get off the schneid, especially against a team like San Antonio, who was 10-20 coming in. But you mentioned the fourth quarter. That's when C.J. McCollum just took the game over. He had 19 points in the fourth quarter. He finished with 40. And that's somebody who recently has been somewhat slumping, at least by his standards. So it was nice to see C.J. have the game that he had, and it was nice to see the Pelicans break that losing streak.
Moving forward, Pelicans sitting around the 3 spot in the Western Conference standings. You look over in the Eastern Conference, Milwaukee, who beat the Pelicans the other night. How in the world do you guard Giannis? How do you guard the guy? I mean, all he does, he takes the basketball, he just bulls his way in. He's going to get the foul call. I just don't know how you guard him.
Yeah, he's really tough to guard. You don't really stop him. You try to contain him. And unfortunately, the Pelicans couldn't. He dropped 42 on them the other night. But while we're talking about Milwaukee, I think what makes them good, and Giannis is part of this, is their defense. Like, they were able to put Drew Holiday, who's a smaller player, on Zion, and you got Lopez as a help defender. You have Giannis roaming too. Yes, it's hard to stop Giannis, but Milwaukee's impossible to score on, or almost impossible. That's why they're championship contenders again this season.
Looking at the Pell schedule coming up, what do we have coming up for them, Mario?
A very manageable schedule for the Pelicans coming up. They got Oklahoma City tonight on the road, 7 p.m. tip. And then they're at home against Indiana on Monday. So 2 winnable games here. Hopefully you can start a little winning streak after that losing streak.
Back-to-back tonight at Oklahoma City. Hadn't seen yet if Zion's going to play tonight. He may or may not. That's going to wrap up hour number 2. A lot still to talk about. We will not have the DJ Dome, folks. Don't worry. We're going to talk a lot of sports in the last hour. We'll keep it real. We'll have a NFL guy on, Aaron Schatz, to talk a little bit about NFL, but we'll still talk LSU. We still haven't talked to Saints much. They play the Browns on Saturday. Don't go anywhere. This is Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Merry Christmas for your friends at Patient Plus Urgent Care. Go to patientplusuc.com. We love Patient Plus here on OTB, not just because they sponsor the show, because we go there. Like, I take my family there. I go there. I have my digital profile set up so that when I go now, it's just a tap of a button on my phone. I'm signed in. I get in, I get better for life's unexpected moments. And if you haven't been to a Patient Plus yet, well, I don't know how you avoided. They're all around the city. But it's fantastic, man. The facilities are second to none, and they are staffed with the best doctors and nurses to keep you healthy. Check this out. If you are a business owner and you need your occupational medicine needs met, nobody does OcMed better than Patient Plus Urgent Care. You go see the Mid-City location. If you want to see what I'm talking about, check it out today. But again, it's a season where, flu, cold, all that's going around. The one place to get in and get better is Patient Plus Urgent Care. Go to patientplusuc.com. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2022 Ford F-150, plus no payments for 90 days and 2.9% APR for 72 months. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ATEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Friday, December 23rd. Your government taco forecast in Baton Rouge. Expect cloudy skies with a high of 35. Coming up on OTBOT, Troy LaBeouf and Eric Held are here to host the rest of the show. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. OTBOT, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Welcome into the final hour of Off the Bench. It'll be the final hour of before the guys on the other side, Mario and Danny, get to take a little break. They will be off until Tuesday. So no show on Monday. It'll be national program. Mario, a lot of NFL football on ESPN 104.5. I heard the promo. A lot of football coming over the next few days.
Yeah, Joe Burrow in action once again. I heard y'all talking over the break. The Bengals on fire right now, and we're all excited for that Cowboys-Eagles game, I would think, despite the fact Minshew's playing. But I still think it's going to be a good game, even without Jalen Hurts.
Minshew to the Saints next year. I'm putting it into existence out there. Maybe. I don't know.
Saw a stat, I think yesterday, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, buzzkill now, but Minshew had one of the best quarterback ratings with a minimum number of starts over the last 5 years.
Wow.
He's solid in Jacksonville. Obviously a star in college. I mean, in limited spots, he's been pretty good in the NFL. That's why if I'm a betting man, I still maybe wouldn't stray too far from the Eagles.
Still at 5?
I believe, last I saw. And you got the whole angle with Mike Leach. If anybody, pays attention to that. I don't know if y'all saw Minshew give a speech at the eulogy a couple days ago. Some really good stuff.
East Carolina University, is that correct? Is that Minshew? Was he East Carolina?
Washington State.
Washington State. Why did I think East Carolina? A couple of college football games on today. Locally, the Ragin' Cajuns, where I spent 1 year of my college career at, had a little bit too much fun. They will play Houston, and look like I know we got some betting folks in here. Looks like a lot of the money going on the Cajuns lately. A lot of the 7.5 or 7 I saw, and then Wake and Mizzou. So a little SEC matchup with Wake. That's interesting. I got today. I have I have Houston and Wake in those two games.
Yeah, I think Wake's a 2-point favorite if I'm not mistaken.
Appreciate all the comments in the Bayou Ford chat saying it was a good show. We hope to bring you a good product when the guys are not in. The guys do a fantastic job when they are in these seats. They're professionals. There will be no DGen Dome. So, and obviously, I saw one of the comments. We won't be talking about Star Wars either. So leave that to T-Bob, who does a great job. And look, I was a Star Wars guy coming up. I used to have all the little miniatures and all that stuff and watched all the sequels and all, but we're here to talk sports today.
Yeah.
So
Once it got past Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi, Return of the Jedi, when they did the other stuff, I quit.
No doubt about it.
That trilogy, those first 3, that's something special.
If you're just taking the first sip of your coffee, you may be off. You may slept in a little. If you missed it, Jaden Daniels will be coming back to LSU next season. I think that's fantastic for the Tigers. Tigers will have as of right now, have a very good quarterback room going into to next season. We'll see if that changes as we head into 2023. Denver Harris highlighted, one of the top players in the portal, the Texas A&M product, who missed 6 games this past season for Texas A&M for discipline issues. He will be in the purple and gold. I fully expect him to be in if he does everything he's supposed to, because we all know Coach Brian Kelly runs a discipline program. If Denver comes in and does what he's supposed to, I know a lot of folks are a little pessimistic about that. Feel like maybe he can't turn it around. I don't know the guy. Who knows? You got to give people chances. So Denver Harris may be in that lineup. LSU, we didn't mention it too. LSU picked up some defensive linemen in the portal as well. They bring a guy, Jalen Lee, back. You and I know from Live Oak High School. Certainly not a guy that is going to jump off the page as far as an All-American or anything like that. But I think he'll bring some good depth on that defensive line. Played at Live Oak.
Yeah, late developer at Live Oak. Coach Brett Beard was there, now head coach at Denham Springs. But Lee came on the scene late, did the camp tour, impressed at the camps, and picked up some offers and ended up at Florida and ended up playing a number of games, number of snaps, and has developed tremendously. And it's great to have him back at LSU, and he can contribute right away.
Picked some other defensive linemen up as well. Where do you think they go? It sounded like, if you listen to Coach Kelly, he tells you what's going to happen pretty much. And he told you anywhere from 8 to 10 guys from the portal. They've picked up 4 or 5 so far, if I'm right on those calculations. So what do they look? I mean, to me, to answer part of my question first, they go still cornerback. And also, I think defensive line as well.
You mentioned it earlier with the guys who are going to the draft. I mean, that's a need right away, those guys up front on the defensive side of the ball. And then just like this past year where they relied on the portal with their starters in the secondary at corner and at nickel with Brooks, that's another position of need. So D-line and I think corner. You can never go wrong. You can never have enough corners.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The linebacker room looks pretty good for LSU going into next season. I think it's impressive that the Tigers were able to they got the guys in early on their signing. 15 of those guys are going to be there early for spring football practice. They'll be enrolled next semester. And Coach Kelly was asked about this, will they participate in bowl practice? And he said no. I just think he didn't want to take anything away from that situation, because I'm sure they are full go in preparing for Purdue, because winning 10 football games is a big deal, and they want to finish on a positive note, and that sets you up, which would be a huge game with Florida State in late August, early September, which we feel like will be a top 10 to 15 matchup with the 2 quarterbacks both coming back for their respective programs.
Florida State, one of the improved programs. Some people had Coach Norvell on the hot seat, and they were talking bringing Dion back to Tallahassee. It was a matter of time before Norvell and his staff were able to get guys to buy in, and guys to restore what that Florida State program once was under Bobby Bowden, and then winning a national championship as well under Jimbo Fisher. So You're right, Troy. It's going to be a top 10 to maybe 12 matchup next year. Florida State, one of the most improved programs. They did a great job in the recent signing class. They've done a great job getting dudes in from the portal, especially on the offensive line. And Alex Atkins is one of the premier O-line coaches in the country and a future head coaching candidate in the next carousel.
In your position with the Louisiana High School Athletic Association, obviously you keep track of the programs in Louisiana. I want to throw this question out. LSU did, for the most part, got everybody they offered in the state of Louisiana. I felt like they missed out on kid from Westgate, Derek Williams. Looks like he's committed to Texas. And obviously did they miss on Arch? Did they ever have a chance with Arch?
Never had a chance with Arch. Arch was always, you go back and it was Clemson, Georgia, Texas, Alabama. And
even Ole Miss was in the mix.
Ole Miss, a little correct, because of Grandpa's ties to Ole Miss, of course. But Georgia was the favorite just because of the relationship that Matt Luke, who was the former head coach at Ole Miss and then the O-line coach at Georgia, is no longer on that staff. Some people think that Luke no longer being the O-line coach there kind of disrupted things for the Bulldogs to get Arch. But, Arch was never really coming to LSU. I think that was – people knew that. It was a stretch for him to get here. So, but Brian Kelly and his staff, they've done a tremendous job since they've come in the last 13 months of doing work to get to this point. And things are about to explode. Things are going to take off. And you're going to see a consistent program to where winning 10 games every year plus is
that's been
normal.
a norm. Yeah,
that's the norm.
What about the running back room? Two guys from the state. They got the two best guys in the state, of Caleb Jackson locally here from Liberty, Trey Holly from Union Parish, who's the all-time leading rusher in the history of Louisiana high school football. But you gotta like the story of Josh Williams. I mean, the walk-on who is just tough as nails, and now he's got a scholarship and he's played well. You got Noah Kane, you got Godwin in the room as well. So what about the running back room?
Yeah, I think you could say on offense what position group is the most concerning. I think it would be that because there's not a big-name guy, but, boy, you just love Josh Williams. You love what he brings to the running back room. You love what he brings to the position. No job is too small. Pass pro for him. He works at it. It's a job to him. He understands, and that's what they've done in that room. That's really what they've done with the entire offense, being process-oriented and getting to where understanding how important those small jobs in your individual position groups leads to much bigger things, much more success on the offensive side of the football. And you started to see that take shape, and the offense has taken off. And I think the best is yet to come offensively and for this program.
So Armani Go and Josh Williams. I didn't mention John Emery. Does John Emery come back? Does Noah Kane come back? I mean, Brambo mentioned in the Bayou 4 chat, I believe Goodwin will hit the portal and transfer to Auburn. Maybe. We'll see. He may hit the portal. He may see the running back room. Maybe he doesn't like. He was a very physical runner when he played it. Wide receiver. I'm looking at this group. I was very surprised that Keyshawn Booty decided to come back.
Me too.
Westgate High School, but he is back. Malik Neighbors from Southside High School, fantastic player. He's not a very big player, but he catches the ball. He's got great hands. He runs great routes. Aaron Anderson, who I thought LSU missed out on 2 years ago, now he makes it. Now he makes it to campus. He played at Carr High School for Coach Bryce, and man, he comes from Alabama. Brian Thomas locally here. So that room, and then you got the guys coming in. You got Shelton Sampson from Catholic, a guy I know very well, Kai Prian from Ascension Catholic, who had transferred to St. James. I coached Kai in middle school. Special player. If I was in his ear right now, I would say, Kai, go play cornerback. You might be able to get on the field pretty quick, but he wants to be a receiver, I know. So what you think about that wide receiver room?
Depth, quality depth, guys that can play, that can contribute, that there's 6 or 7 deep where you can take any of those guys and they can go start at any school in the country. Saban would love to have them. Smart would love to have them. Dabo would love to have them. Sark at Texas, Lincoln Riley at USC, Ohio State with Ryan Day. Any of those guys would love to have one of those receivers on their roster and on the field starting for them. It's as deep a position group as there is on that roster.
That tight end room's going to be good again. I mean, it'll be young, but I think they'll be good. With Taylor coming back, and you got some really good freshmen. They flipped the kid from Vanderbilt. How you feel? How you think Coach Lee feels at Vanderbilt? They've had a commitment from this kid for probably 8 to 9 months. Oh, we solid, man. I'm coming to Vanderbilt. And LSU swoops in. Den Brock and Coach Kelly swoop in on the last day, and they flop him. But that happens all over the country. They got to expect it.
Yeah, and when you have a guy that caliber who's just been sitting there with Vanderbilt, and you're looking at him and you're like, man, how's this kid committed to Vanderbilt? And you just know that they're all recruiting him.
Right.
They're all recruiting him. And you can't negative recruit as much these days because the way the portal works, because that kid may be at Vanderbilt and you go on about Vanderbilt and negatively recruit, and it turns the kid off, and then a year or two from now there's a coaching change or the kid blows up and he's like, well, I'd be better suited at Georgia or LSU or Alabama. I'm going to go there so I can be a first, second round draft pick, right? But that kid remembers that negativity you brought into the recruiting, and it's a turnoff, and you don't end up there. So those relationships you build like that are real important.
Coach Jamar Cain had a relationship with the kid from Oregon who's coming to LSU now from the portal. He had a relationship with him 2 years ago. We'll transition a little NFL talk. We'll talk some Saints along with it. Aaron Schatz of Football Outsiders coming at you next. Don't go anywhere.
OTB, OT.
Join the G team and get it done. That's right. Get it done by getting Gordon. And if you want to follow Gordon and the G team, it's at Get Gordon on social media. Jake, if you saw the news yesterday, a lot of these signees immediately being welcomed into the G team. You saw Shelton Sampson. He's now a member of the G team. The point is, Gordon is there for you with all your injury attorney needs. Also, if you love LSU, Gordon is there for you as the Godfather of NIL, helping to give these kids options, helping to help these kids benefit off of their skill set. You love to see it. You love Gordon. You love the G team. 225-888-8888. Merry Christmas from Gordon.
Yeah, that is good to see. I knew Trey Holly, who is the state's all-time leading rusher in high school, was already on the G team, but good to hear that, T-Bob. You can see the full list of the members right there. We're members of the G team here on OTB. T-Bob gave you the 225 number. That's 225-318. Doesn't matter the area code. 318-888-8888.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Winter can be magical. The Mercedes-Benz Winter Event is here, and there's no better time to check out our new Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge inventory. We have the vehicles that can make your holiday extraordinary. See all the latest technological features on the newest models during our Mercedes-Benz Winter Event. Shop our best of the best award-winning dealership. Visit mbobr.com.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks.
Week Friday presented by Tex Morrison, Edward Jones Investments. We're at Rufino's. That's right. Game Time presented by Bet Rivers on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., which includes Handy Tom.
Merry Christmas, happy holiday. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, happy holiday. Ooh, yeah. We've been waiting.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Being that they played that Christmas song, my favorite, we got to play it again on our last segment. So hashtag X the bench coming in our last segment. But this segment, and maybe we'll get him to stay another one. We'll see. Aaron Schatz, Football Outsiders, at Football Outsiders, talking NFL football. Aaron, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
What's the temperature where you at right now?
Oh, it's warm today. It's like 50 degrees because the cold doesn't show up till tomorrow. And then tomorrow it gets down to like 5.
We have it here. And you're in Massachusetts?
I am, Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yeah, so we're in Louisiana, and it's 21 right now, according to what I'm seeing. It was in the 60s yesterday in Louisiana. So
it's 58 and raining, right? The same rainstorm that they had during the Jaguars-Jets game last night. Tomorrow,
that was ugly.
I exaggerated. It's not 5. Tomorrow is 23.
Wow. That was terrible. We'll get to that game in a second, but we got to give you some props. Coach Hill and I are going to give you some props. We had you on in the summer. You said Philadelphia. You said Eagles. Everybody laughed at you. Now who's laughing? The Philadelphia Eagles look to be the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, I've seen some people have responded to me on Twitter by saying, don't take a victory lap. Everybody thought the Eagles were going to be this good.
Nah.
They didn't. The Eagles were, I think, 9th in preseason Super Bowl odds. So they weren't written off, but people didn't realize how good they would be. And it's really just the amount of talent that they added in the offseason. I mean, when you considered adding A.J. Brown, when you consider adding James Bradbury and Hassan Reddick and getting Brandon Graham back from injury and the top picks that they had on defense, and that's all been really good for them. But on top of that, Hurts has taken a big step forward. And they went out and signed a couple of veteran defensive tackles to take care of their one weakness, which was run defense.
Aaron, anything that surprised you about this team, even though you were high on them going into the season?
No, I mean, honestly not. I mean, we kind of thought that run defense would be their weakness, so that's not a surprise. I don't think we thought their special teams were going to be too special, and so they're very average. That's not a surprise. And the biggest surprise is that Jalen Hurts has been so good. The fact that he is an MVP candidate, that he now looks like not just a guy who's carried by his teammates who's kind of average, but he looks like the kind of quarterback you can win because of, who then also has great teammates and great coaching, and that gives you a 13-1 record.
Visiting with Aaron Schatz of Football Outsiders. Follow him on Twitter at Football Outsiders. Out in Massachusetts covering NFL football. Cincinnati Bengals, local tie here with Joe Burrow, obviously Jamar Chase. They started slow, very slow. Offensive line looked not very good early, but Cincinnati is looking like one of the top teams in the NFL right now on whether it be the NFC or AFC.
Yeah, we have them 7th overall for the year, 5th in our weighted rankings, which give more strength to recent games. And what's important for people to realize is that the Bengals are a better team than they were last year. Last year, the Bengals were an average team that went 10-7 based on schedule and then went on a nice little run in the playoffs. This year, Cincinnati is a very good team. Like it makes much more sense probability-wise for the Bengals to make it to the Super Bowl this year than it did for the Bengals to make it to the Super Bowl last year. I'm not saying they're going to, but their odds of making it to the Super Bowl are, not quite as good as Buffalo's and Kansas City's, but pretty good. It's really that's the top three in the AFC. If Lamar Jackson can get healthy, we do think it's kind of more of a top four, with Baltimore, being a pretty good team this year. But Cincinnati is absolutely in that upper echelon. Both offense and defense have improved for them.
Aaron, kind of followed your lead with Philly, made a small wager on them to win the Super Bowl. My other team in the NFC that I made a wager on was the Vikings. You're not really you're kind of cold on the Vikings. Explain a little bit about that, despite them having such a great record.
Hey, good wager. I mean, they're 11-3, so that's pretty good. I mean, anybody who gets into the tournament has a shot. But no, the Vikings there's never been a team like this in NFL history. They are clearly the worst 11-3 team of all time. Our numbers have them much lower than any 11-3 team before. Based on points scored and allowed, you would expect Minnesota to be 7-7. Not 11-3, and we actually have them worse than that. We have them 25th in our ratings. Now, I mean, I feel like we're missing something a little bit. Maybe they should be more like 23rd or 22nd, but this is not an above-average team. This is a team that when they've played the best teams on their schedule, they've got crushed, just crushed by Dallas and Philadelphia, and there's a good chance that's going to happen once they get into the playoffs. But the fact is they're probably going to be the 3rd seed, and the New York Giants are probably going to be the 6th seed, and those teams play this weekend, and it should be a close game, and Minnesota definitely has a good chance to win that one in the playoffs. So it's not till they get to the second round of the playoffs that things are going to get really tough for them.
Talking with Aaron Schatz, Football Outsiders. Aaron, shifting locally to a disappointing team, the New Orleans Saints. Quarterback has definitely been a struggle, I guess you could say, with Winston and Dalton. And recently at ESPN, you wrote an article concerning finding a weakness for every NFL starting quarterback. Interesting stat on Dalton you came up with. He has a quarterback rating of 30 this year, 40.8 in 2021, and 21.1 in 2020 versus cover 3. He's struggled against cover 3 the last 3 years. Is that, in your opinion, due to the pressures that opposing defenses are showing and pass pro hasn't held up, or because of 5 under that defenses are playing?
I honestly don't know the answer. I have to go back and watch a lot of him against cover 3 to see what the problem is. Look, overall, I'm going to say this. Andy Dalton is not the Saints' problem this year. If you take out the first 3 weeks of the season when Winston was the starter, New Orleans ranks 12th in our passing DVOA stats, which, given the injuries that they've had in their wide receiver core, is actually kind of impressive. The problem is that they're below average running the ball. They're very average on defense. They've had poor special teams, and they've kind of had bad luck.
Aaron, Saints and Cleveland locally, obviously we're watching the Saints. So break this one down for us a little bit. That game will be on Saturday. I'm all mixed up. My days today is Friday, so that game will be tomorrow at noon. Break that one down for a little bit for our listeners.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland is interesting because they were one of, surprisingly, the top offenses in the league when they had Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. And they have actually been much worse with Deshaun Watson. And we're all just kind of waiting for it to click for Deshaun Watson with his receivers to get the Deshaun Watson that we saw a couple of years ago. This is, I'm not going to make a statement about, a moral statement about the things he did off the field. I'm just talking here about Deshaun Watson, the player. But I can also tell you that while Myles Garrett is very scary, the overall Cleveland defense is bad. In particular, they're kind of average against the pass. They're really bad against the run. So this could be a game where Kamara finally breaks out and puts up some numbers.
Boy, you're right. I mean, he just had, I think he's got one touchdown this season. The last time I looked at the stats, but it's going to be cold. I know a lot of people, well, the Saints play in the dome. They can't play in the cold. I mean, football players play football, you know. I know cold
Yeah,
is.
I mean, warm and dome teams do a little bit worse when it's really cold than the teams that are used to the cold, but not like a lot. It doesn't mean they can't win the game. It makes it a little harder for them to win the game, but it also means there's going to be fewer points scored when it's that cold. And it's going to be that cold around the country. I mean, even in Nashville, you know, you think of Nashville as being the South, but it's going to be something like 15 degrees for Houston at Tennessee this week.
Could this be a big game for Taysom Hill? Just being able to run the football, you know, out of the.
Well, because Cleveland's run defense is terrible. Yeah, absolutely. This could be a really interesting Taysom Hill, using some Taysom Hill runs. And then, of course, once you've had Taysom Hill run the ball a couple of times, you can go over the top with the play action, and he does have an arm.
Jameis Winston, where does he go? I mean, obviously, this staff doesn't look like they're real interested in playing him at all. He may be injured. That's what we're hearing, but does he have a chance to go start for somebody next year?
No, I think at this point, what he needed was for the staff in New Orleans to have enough confidence in him to bring him back to start the last few games of the year, and then he needed to have a good performance in those games. Instead, all we have from him is the first 3 games of the season when he was lousy, and that's what teams have to go by. And I can't imagine that any team is going to have Winston as their starter next year. But he's going to, you know, he will be able to get a job as a backup in this league. But I can't imagine he's going to be starting anywhere.
Aaron, we appreciate it. Coach, you got anything else for Aaron?
Aaron, your Super Bowl picks moving forward.
Well, before the season, I picked Buffalo and Philadelphia. And Buffalo and Philadelphia are 1 and 2 in our ratings right now. So I do not see any reason to change that.
I like it.
Sounds great.
I like it. Is Jalen Hurts going to play against the Saints next week? Probably not, huh?
You know, I don't know what his current health situation is, but all the Eagles have to do to get the number 1 seed is win once in the next 3 games. And I have faith that Gardner Minshew can either beat, even if he can't beat the Cowboys this week, Gardner Minshew could beat the Saints or the Giants. So I would not be surprised if they hold Hurts out until the playoffs at this point.
Saints fans will be happy with that. The mustache, mustache Minshew. So, Aaron, we appreciate it, man. Have a great Christmas. Thanks for coming on with us.
Happy holidays, guys. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me on.
All right, no problem. Go check him out. Aaron Schatz at Football Outsiders. Got some really good stuff. Boy, he digs, man. He digs into the numbers. And, you know, if you're a betting guy, too, it wouldn't be a bad idea to take a look at his site because he can give you some really good angles. I'm looking at a couple of things he's got up there today for maybe some picks.
Yeah, he dives deep into the numbers and not only gives you some trends, but also gives you some betting angles as well.
Take a quick break. We'll be right back on OTB.
OTB, OT.
Go to GEAUXroof.com, GEAUXroof.com. 927-8300 is the number, 927-8300 number. Remember I tell you to call that number, and when they answer, hit them with the roof's up. Today, I want you to hit them with the Merry Christmas, because they want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from Go Roof to you, the wonderful people of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, wherever you're at. And look, wherever you are at, the bottom line is it's spelled GEAUX because they're from the community and they want to make sure the community's roofing needs are taken care of, right? So call them today. You get that free professional estimate. You see how easy it is to set up a time, what it's like to work with Go Roof. Then you make a fully informed decision about what you want to do next. Of course, they're licensed and insured, and I mention it every day, but it's because it's worth mentioning. They go out of their way to give you a 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the manufacturer warranty. So you can have peace of mind that you're going to get a beautiful new roof every shingle time. Merry Christmas from Go Roof.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
A third of youth who grow up in foster care are homeless 18 months after aging out of care. But you can rewrite that story. Children and youth with CASA and GAL volunteers are more likely to find safe, permanent homes. Change a child's story. Become a volunteer today.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us.
Hey, Hunt Palmer wishing you all a very Merry Christmas this weekend. Hope you stay warm. I am out on Friday, but Max Gotro is going to fill in, talk a little gambling, get you ready for Saints and Browns. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 on Friday. Merry Christmas, everybody. On 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
A couple segments left here on OTB. Guys off today. They'll be back with you on Tuesday as we prepare for LSU versus Purdue. Talked a lot of college football today. Talked some NFL just now. Talked some LSU basketball. We talked a little bit of Pelicans. Let Mario break it down, but I want to talk a little bit more NFL. We didn't talk a lot about Saints Browns. The Saints, truly, Coach. I mean, are we rooting for this team to make the playoffs? Does this team deserve to make the playoffs? They're 5-9. The Cleveland Browns are 6-8. Sean Watson has had all the controversy. He's not looked good early, albeit he hadn't had a lot of time with his team, but this game is going to be played with 40 miles per hour per wind, minus 10 degrees wind chill. I'm assuming the Saints still want to play this thing out. I mean, they're looking up at Tampa Bay right ahead of them, tied with Carolina, the Falcons, who cares? So let's talk about this one a little bit.
Yeah, Saints 5-9, 4% chance of making the playoffs. Still some hope, right?
Saying there's a chance.
Still some hope. But Cleveland, if there's a franchise out there in pro sports that me personally I pull against, it's Cleveland. Just poor ownership, poor decision making. The Watson decision just takes the cake. Bringing that guy in.
The Saints wanted Watson.
Well,
it looks like
they looked into it for sure, but I couldn't see Miss Gail Benson signing off that with being a female owner, signing off with what he was accused of. And, you know, hey, innocent till proven guilty. But if there's 20-something accusations from that many different people, well, we could sit here and talk forever about it. But
somebody's telling the truth.
You know, not the time to do it. But the Saints are just not a good football team. Kamara, 3.9 yards a carry. Ingram, 3.8 a carry. Kamara, 1 rushing touchdown all year, but that's the Saints. They have 9 rushing touchdowns all year, and I think 7 teams in the NFL have less than double-digit rushing touchdowns, and only 1 has a winning record. 3 interceptions, just 3 interceptions,
well,
the lowest.
You were missing
total.
Lattimore most of the season.
Sure.
There's a chance he may play in this game. I was a little surprised. I thought he would just, call it a year, but I guess those guys want to play. So he's been injured most of the year. You really, you made the decision to basically change your 2 safeties out for the Honey Badger and May. I mean, was it a big downgrade there? I think if you look at the PFF grades, Honey Badger's had a pretty good year according to the grade.
Yeah, and I think losing the guys you did back there and bringing in the Honey Badger and Marcus May, I think it was a wash, maybe if not better, if you going into the season. The pass rush hasn't been there. Cam Jordan only 5.5 sacks. If you look 2 years ago when Hendrickson was on the other side and just tearing it up over there, that was a great bookend deal for the Saints up front where you had Cam and Hendrickson, and then Hendrickson went on to have a great year last year with the Bengals and just a force. And like I said, when Davis, your inside backer, is leading your team in sacks with 6.5, that says a little something about the lack of productivity up front. Onyemata, I think, has 3.5 or 4
he
sacks.
Hasn't played as well. To me,
up front is where the key this year for them.
And offensive line's been injured all year long. To me, looks like Ruiz is out. He's going on IR.
Pete's always banged up.
To me, it points to one thing: the coach. I mean, nothing against Dennis Allen. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. He's had to go through a lot of tough things this year. I hate to be critical because I was in a coaching position, not at that level, but I get it. But losing Sean Payton, elevating Carmichael to the full play caller, it seems like it just hasn't worked like we thought it would work. But they've had a lot of things go against them this year with injuries and what have you. But Sean Payton, to me, was the biggest loss. And some folks kind of downplayed that. Oh, this team's going to be good. It's a great franchise, and it is a good franchise. It has been for a long time, but it's been a good franchise since Payton has taken over, and the Bensons have let him do his thing to run this thing.
Yeah, great marriage with the Bensons and Loomis as the GM, Kai Hartley being the salary cap guy, Jeff Ireland, the personnel guy, kind of heading up the draft with Payton. And now that Payton is gone, you kind of see that, a lot of that secret sauce left the building when Payton walked out. We hope that Dennis Allen
got some leaks.
Yeah, sure. We hope that Dennis Allen had been there in 2 different stints, and you hope that the lack of success he had with the Raiders was just due to the fact that the Raiders at that time was one of the most, if not the most, dysfunctional franchise in pro sports. You hope that was it. And you hope that Pete Carmichael, who had the experience of calling a number of preseason games, who had the experience of making calls in-game, making suggestions to Peyton and learning the ropes from Peyton, that he could just step in and We just hadn't seen. I mentioned to you off air, how many running back screens have we seen this year? Trying to get the ball in Kamara's hands or even Ingram. You haven't seen that.
Haven't seen it. So last one, then we'll take a break and then start loading them up. Hashtag Ask the Bench. We'll do that next. So load those questions up in the Bayou 4 chat. But why does Peyton coach next year?
That's interesting. And as someone just mentioned in there, yeah, Peyton was the guy behind the personnel moves too. Loomis would sign off on it. Kai Hartley would get the money right. They kicked the can down the road a lot with the salary cap, and now you're starting to see it's going to implode a little bit. See who
you need
leaves.
young players on rookie contracts to play well for you,
without a doubt, and get them on that 3-4 year deal, and then get them to re-sign with you, and that's what happens. And they manipulate. It's no one better than the Saints, but where's he end up? Is Arizona an attractive place for him? You got to have a quarterback. We talk about the Chargers, and I just don't see the Chargers, the Spanos group, letting Staley go. And
could it be the Rams?
Could McVay say enough with this and actually go the TV route?
Go do prime TV, with the Thursday night game. So
sure, but I don't see Indianapolis or Carolina, the two current openings, being somewhere that's attractive for
come on
for
back
Peyton.
to New Orleans, Sean.
Come back, and hey, Tom Brady's a free agent. Get the rental deal for 1 year.
Hashtag Ask the Bench up next. Our last segment coming at you.
OTB OT.
Merry Christmas to your friends over there at ITI Technical College. I want you to do this. How about this, Jake? This Christmas season, if you're listening to this and you're not satisfied with where you're at in life and you want to change your life for the better, I want you to give yourself a Christmas gift. And in this case, it is the gift of a path, of a future. And it lies with ITI Technical College, a local family-owned trade school right here in Baton Rouge campus of Airline Highway. Because in just 2 years, you can get that AOS degree that's going to prepare you for careers in Louisiana industry. Then, after you graduate, they can actually assist you in hitting those jobs for those careers. We talk about the return on the investment all the time. There's not a better one in the state top 15 in the country in terms of what you can expect to make versus what you will pay. So, get off your butt, change your life today. ITI Technical College. Merry Christmas. Go to iticollege.edu, iticollege.edu.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
My dad just really enjoyed his life, and he enjoyed smoking cigars and thought he was invincible. My stepdad quit smoking, and he really felt like he was in the clear. Sorry. I wish they would have been screened annually. It's not just you affect, it's your entire family.
For more information on Ochsner's free smoking cessation program and to see if you qualify for early lung screenings, visit ochsner.org/quit.
Winter can be magical. The Mercedes-Benz Winter Event is here, and there's no better time to check out our new Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge inventory. We have the vehicles that can make your holiday extraordinary. See all the latest technological features on the newest models during our Mercedes-Benz Winter Event. Shop our best of the best award-winning dealership. Visit mbobr.com.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to 16 in the NFL continues Saturday when the Patriots host Joe Burrow and the Bengals at noon, and the Steelers host the Raiders at 7:15 p.m. Then it's a Christmas Day tripleheader on Sunday with the Dolphins and the Packers at noon, the Rams and the Broncos at 3:30 p.m., and the Cardinals and the Buccaneers at 7:20 p.m. All here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
We could be a boy band, could we? Mario would be the lead singer.
Hell yeah. Danny on the drums.
Would be, all the women would be jumping on stage. I know Coach knows everything about bands and all. You could be the drummer. I don't know what I'd do. I'd play the tambourine or something. I don't know. Hashtag X the bench. What are your favorite Christmas desserts? Go ahead. We'll go around the room.
Apple pie.
Go ahead, guys.
We're big fans of sugar cookies on this show. Sugar cookies, gingerbread cookies.
Pecan pie, is that considered Christmas, you think?
So little you stole mine. Pecan pie, man. And brownies. X the bench. Let's see. They're coming fast. Would you gentlemen by any chance be available 3 to 6 weekdays? No, man. Go try and work.
Moscona's a fixture.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Matt does a good job.
He
does a great job.
I get off at 3, thank you.
Hashtag X the bench. How do you like your eggs? I like mine. I like a good medium with a little yolk, but I do like fried eggs too.
Mostly scrambled, but I do like fried.
Scrambled with ketchup. I think that's how them messing with me about being a serial killer started. Me putting ketchup on my scrambled eggs.
Wow. I do a little ketchup sometimes.
Scrambled, no egg, no ketchup.
No ketchup. Hot sauce.
I'll do some hot sauce on some eggs. Hell yeah.
Let's see. Hashtag X the bench. I'm looking here. Wow. Hot chocolate or coffee? Hot coffee.
I like hot chocolate.
Cold weather.
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
Coffee.
All right, I got one for y'all. Different era than me and Danny, obviously. But what was the coolest present you ever received at any point in your life? Could be recently, could be when you were a little kid.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. My wife's not listening. I was going to say the one she gave me yesterday. It was some On Cloud. Man, that's a great one. It's a really good one. I got a... it was kind of a tough time, too. I got a little motorbike, mini bike, when I was 11 on Christmas, and the day after, which was in 1981. I was 10. My dad got in a horrible accident. Ended up surviving, but I do remember that. But that was one of the coolest gifts I ever got.
Money, video games as a young kid.
Man, I was so excited when I saw the PlayStation 2 under my tree when it first came out. And then when I got tickets to the LSU Bama game in 2012, that was a cool present until the game happened.
Hashtag X the bench. I'm sorry, Danny. Go ahead. Dude, coolest gift.
Good pair of socks.
Tremendous.
Dead Soxy.
Was not expecting that.
Extra bench, hashtag from Carl Dunn. When is LSU basketball going to be sanctioned? They got the big fish with Wade. I don't know, man. Everything's coming out, Carl. Kansas kind of skirted around it. We'll see. It looks like they wanted to make a example of LSU. That's got to be pretty soon with the sanctions. So, guys, it's been fun. Always have a good time. You guys on the other side of the glass always take care, Coach and I. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it today. Everybody enjoyed their Christmas time. It's not just a time to give. It's time to be thankful for everything. I'm getting all sentimental on you guys. But next, Lock of the Week with Jimmy Ott and Charlie Hannah-Griff. They'll be at Rufino's, throwing all the picks out there. Hunt's 1-3. I think Hunt's out today. I think a guy by the name of Max is filling in. And then Moscona should be in today, right? 3-6. Or is he starting? I know he's out next week.
I think he's in today. Yeah, he's in today.
So Musso's handling it up next week. So you guys, Merry Christmas to each and all the listeners, everybody out there. We appreciate Gardy Rush and TJ and Cade and all allowing us to come on and talk some sports. We enjoy it. So everybody have a good Christmas.
OTB, OT.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication, grit.
We get it done